Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video I want to show you my first Atlas strategy of the league, which is going to be speedrunning Ashen Woods. And later on in this video I want to show you the results of the test that I did, which was running 100 of these maps. But first let's talk about what do I mean by speedrunning maps. So when people usually are running maps super fast, they refer to the strategy as alch and go, where people would just alchemy the map, go inside of the map and clear it pretty fast and then just go out. But this strategy is a little bit different than that, because we are not even gonna be clearing the map. The main point of this strategy is to just kill the map boss as fast as possible and then go out, and only do some other mechanics that support this strategy. So because of that, the map I chose was Ashen Woods, because this map is actually pretty small and it's not that hard to find a boss. Sometimes it can be a bit annoying, but usually you can find boss pretty fast. And most of the time when people do strategy like that, they would do city squares or maybe the mesa map, but I chose Ashen Woods because of one simple reason, and that's the price. City square right now go for between 7 to 10 chaos, and you can easily make a ton of Ashen Woods for the price of 3 C. And the way you do that is you just buy a ton of just random tier 16 maps from TFT, and you can buy them in bulk for 2C. And then, because of the Ashen Woods being the base tier 16 map, so what that means is that if you remove all of the Voidstone and type tier 16, there's only 4 maps, and one of them is Ashen Woods. Then there is Crimson Temple, Dungeon, and Port. Because of that, if you use a Horizon Orb on any of the map, you have 1 in 4 chances to turn it into Ashen Woods. So this time there was no luck, but after your first try, because map became one of the other ones, now you have 1 in 3 chances, because the map cannot turn into itself anymore. So 1 in 3, now I got 1, a little bit unlucky this time, but usually it is between 1 in 3. And now we have a lot of Ashen Woods. So Horizon Orbs right now are going for free for 1 chaos, so you just add 1 chaos on top of the price of just buying maps in bulk. So if you buy them for 2 chaos, you're paying 3 chaos for Ashen Woods. So the next thing I want to talk about is why would you want to farm map bosses and what do you get from doing that. So first of all, you are gonna be progressing one of the 3 influences. So the one I did choose is Searing Exarch, because the invitation for Searing Exarch boss is the most expensive one. So that's why I chose this, but if market change, obviously you can go for one of the other 2, and if you maybe do a little bit of a different strategy, it doesn't really matter too much as long as you progress one of these 3 influences. Next thing is Atlas passives. So I did go for the Synthesis passives, Shaper and Elder Guardian maps, and Conqueror maps, because the map boss has a chance to drop one of these 3 types of maps, so you just increase the chance to get them thanks to the Atlas passives. Next thing is completing the maps grant 10 intelligence to random Immortal Syndicate safe house. So thanks to this, every 10 maps you get 3 safe house, which means you basically get a chance at getting Paradoxica. Obviously, if you want to, you can also use this to maybe get some Ace-Wings, Voriches and so on, but you would also have to somehow get the ranks of these syndicate members. And the last thing is Enrich Entities, which is map bosses drop additional basic currency item, which is not that great, but I actually did drop 1 Exalt thanks to it, so it's not that bad, but I still believe I got lucky with the Exalt, So if you don't want to, you don't have to go for this. Also, the small passives give 2% chance for an additional connected map to drop from map bosses. So maps are not that crazy expensive now, so I wouldn't go for all of the small ones, but still you're gonna get few of them, so it's gonna be some additional chance to drop maps. Okay, so to sum things up, when it comes to the boss, you are gonna be progressing the one of the influences, and obviously I also went for the Atlas passives for that to get additional 10% chance for double progress. You're gonna drop all of the Guardian maps and Synthesis maps, and you're gonna get some currency. Now that we know how we're gonna make profit from killing the map bosses, what are some other league mechanics that we can include into the map that are not gonna take too much time to do, because again, we want to do as many maps per hour as possible, so we don't want to do long league mechanics like expedition or bridge and so on. So first league mechanic is obviously the essence, because essence is very quick. You just click on the monster, it comes out of the essence and you just kill it, and that's it. So I took all of the 3 essence passives, so this one, and this one, and you are guaranteed to have 1 essence in the map. The second mechanic is the heist, because heist smuggler cache is just something you click, you get some loot, and that's it. So it's pretty simple, pretty fast to do. So I took all of the 3 heist passives, but the one at the top is not that amazing. It only gives you 10% chance to contain a bounty target pack, but it still gives you some chance to get, some increased stack of rogue markers, so it's still pretty good. But the thing about smuggler caches is that you only have a chance to get it, and we don't want to spend too much time looking for the cache that might not even exist in the map. So we want to guarantee to get a smuggler cache. And to do that, I'm gonna be using the Sextants. So you can buy charge compasses with 4 uses remaining, either on trade or on TFT with 4 uses, and I was buying them for up to 8 chaos. So per map you are paying 2C for smuggler cache. So this is gonna guarantee to have 1 in your map, and 1C you're gonna get paid just from the rogue markers, and any single contract that is always gonna drop from the smuggler cache is also gonna be worth 1C. So if you drop something like deception contract, which right now are worth between 10 and 14C, you're gonna make some nice profit, and on top of that, from time to time you will be getting blueprints and also unique contracts. And unique contracts are not that great, but there is one which is called Twins, and that contract right now is worth around 60 chaos. So heist is pretty nice mechanic. So now that we're gonna be using Sextant, what are some of the other Sextants we can use? So first of all, there is one which is not that amazing, you don't really have to use it. It gives a heist contract additional implicit modifier. And what are these implicits? I am gonna make another video on that, but basically it's just some additional rewards from doing the contracts, and not that many people know about them or do them, so it's not really gonna increase the profit from contracts. So again, you don't really have to use that one. Next one is map bosses are accompanied by bodyguards, and you are always gonna drop 1 map from a boss. So again, just additional loot from the bosses. And the last one is the one that gives possessed monster 1 gilded scarab as a drop. So to get these gilded scarabs, we're gonna need to have 3 possessed monster in a map, and to do that I am using this Atlas passive to get up to 5 rare possessed monsters. And actually most of the time these monsters are gonna be either essences or bosses, so you don't even have to look for them that much. Most of the time you will get them anyway, just from killing the essence. And the last important Atlas passive that I chose is the Light of Dawn. And this is another reason why I prefer the red influence over the green one, because this one gives 20% chance to spawn an altar at the beginning of the map when the influence first appear. So this one gives 50% overall chance to find altars, but we are not gonna be clearing map that much, so this is not gonna help you by a lot. And if this procs, we literally get the altar at the beginning of the map, which means that allows us to check the altar, and if that altar is something nice, like percentage chance to drop scarabs or percentage chance to drop the Eldritch currency, then we can decide to actually full clear the map. Also, this gives 10% chance that the Eldritch currency is gonna be duplicated per altar found, and the red currency is actually more expensive than the green one, so that's another good reason to choose the red one. Okay, to sum things up, the strategy, how the flow of the map would look like. Basically enter the map, kill one pack to see if you're gonna get the altar. If you get something good, then we just full clear the map. If you get something bad, then we just try to find the boss, and on our way to find a boss, we're gonna look for one essence, one smuggler cache, which we're gonna get from the compass, and 3 monsters that are gonna drop gilded scarabs. And most of the time these monsters are gonna be in essences, or even a boss from time to time will be possessed. So again, 3 scarabs, 1 essence, 1 smuggler cache, and possible 1 altar. And then we just kill the map boss. Obviously it doesn't have to be that order, sometimes you might kill map boss first and then look for the other things, but it's not too important. Now that we know what the strategy is all about, let me show you a map example. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my Sextants. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm gonna use 4 chisels and alchemy on a map, because chisels and alchemies are pretty cheap, so I'm gonna always use them. And I'm not gonna use any of the map device mods, and no scarabs. And the build I am using for this is my auto bomber build, which I'm gonna link PoE in the description, but I still haven't made a guide for it because it's still not finished. As you can see, I have only 2.8k life, so I actually was dying quite often. So again, first thing is I am trying to proc the influence. Here it is, and I didn't get the altar. So now I need to find 3 scarabs, essence, and heist thing. Okay, so now I got 2 altars, and none of them are actually that great. The only 2 that I would go for clearing full map would be percentage chance to drop, but scarabs and Eldritch currency. These are not that great, but I'm still gonna take them. And also the good ones are the ones that give you some drops from bosses, but that would also be things like scarab, currency, and so on. So these are not that great. So I would just take this one and this one. So I found 1 scarab so far. Here is a second one. Here is the smuggler cache. Another altar, so I would check it. 1 scarab from boss is pretty nice, and that's the last scarab. So now I only need to find 1 essence and a map boss. So essence is here. And now just map boss is left. So it should be somewhere around here. I'm gonna also check this altar. Nothing really that great. And here's a map boss. And it is done. So that's pretty much it. And again, if any of the altars would be chance to drop scarabs or Eldritch currency, I would continue clearing it. So we got 3 scarabs, some essences, and contracts with markers. Unfortunately, this contract is not that great, but from time to time you're gonna get some nice things. So now let's look at the results of the test that I did. So here is all of the profit. So I did get 4 invitations for the Searing Exarch and for the other boss. I got quite a lot of Eldritch currency, as you can see. These are maps below tier 16. So it turns out that if you use the Sextant for the map drop from bosses, this actually ignores your atlas, which means you actually can drop, and most of the time you will drop maps of lower tier than 16. So the Sextant is actually kind of bad, and I am actually not even gonna use it in the future farming sessions with this strategy, and I did not include these maps in test results. Here are some of the Guardian maps. I believe I actually got a bit unlucky on the Conqueror and Synthesis, because I actually literally right after I finished the test I did drop Cortex from another map, but again I didn't drop anything that crazy in terms of Guardian maps from this session. Here are all of the contracts, blueprints. I did get 3 twins, which again are worth around 60 chaos right now, and some of the blueprints. And here are 4 fully revealed blueprints, which come from this passive. So 10% chance that the blueprints that drop are fully revealed, which means they have all of the rooms revealed. And this one is actually very nice because it has 4 wings and 6 currency, 3 divination card rewards, and 2 harbinger. Unfortunately it is enchanted armaments, which is the worst one, but still it has pretty nice rewards. These ones are unusual gems and trinkets, but the rewards are not that crazy. This one I guess is decent, 4 currency and 5 harbinger. Here are all of the rogue markers and all of the essences, and I did upgrade all of them to deafening ones, and all of the remaining shrieking and screaming I did not include in the test results. Here's the second tab. So these are the maps, all of the maps that did drop that are tier 16, all of the scarabs, and as you can see quite a lot of gilded scarabs, and the most expensive currencies, and I did drop 2 exalts. And the last thing I forgot about is the city squares map, because I did favorite city squares because they are pretty cheap, pretty expensive, so I am gonna be selling them, and I did drop around 50 of them, so that's almost 500 chaos just in city squares. Okay, now let's look at the spreadsheet. So here's all of the investment. So I was buying scarabs with gilded, not scarabs, the sextants with gilded scarabs for 9 chaos, bodyguards for 4C, high simplicity for 4C, smuggler caches for 8, and map cost was 4 chaos. So in total I did spend 1025 chaos on this project, and it took me 4.5 hours to clear it. And here's the breakdown of all of the profits. So from contracts 430C, blueprints 310, fully revealed ones, I did count them as 50C, but you probably would want to run them yourself, or maybe try to sell them on TFT, maybe for like 1 exalt, but it is pretty hard to sell them. People will most of the time ask for the what types of rewards are there and so on, so I would really suggest running them on your own, but I did price them as 50C each. The twins, I did count them as 70C here, I believe. All of the essences, city square maps, guardian maps, eldritch currency, quite a lot of profit from scarabs, invitation, all of the maps I did count as 2C if you would sell them in bulk, and all of the remaining currency. So most of the profit actually came from the scarab and all of the heist stuff combined, because that would be 400, 700, 900, 1100 chaos, and that would be 1.4k. So in total 5.3k minus the cost, I did get 4300 chaos, which is 34 exalts if exalts are 125c. So per hour I did make 7.7 exalts per hour, which in my opinion for strategy this simple is actually quite a lot. But what are the bad things about the strategy. So first bad thing is, I guess, buying Sextants. You have to go to the TFT Discord or buy them on trade. Usually people will sell not that many of them in bulk, but if you are lucky, you can from time to time buy like 20 or 40 of the Sextants in bulk. So that's the only issue with, like, I guess, preparing for the strategy. And second issue is selling stuff, most importantly the contracts. So usually you will be stuck with a lot of cheap contracts, the ones that are worth like 1.5C, and not that many people will buy them. But you still can sell all of the blueprints and expensive contracts fairly easily, and you're gonna make a lot of profit just from them. Now, how I would improve this strategy, because I already have some ideas how to do it. So first of all, I would most importantly improve my build to not die as much, which would probably reduce the time that I am in the maps by quite a lot. And also, I actually was doing the league mechanic, but I didn't really profit from it that much. I believe I actually didn't even complete a single good recipe, so it was just a waste of time. So I do believe I can improve this time to probably 3.5 hours, but let's say I would improve it to just 4 hours. That would already be almost 9 exhausts per hour. Also, the highest implicit enchant section is not really needed, so you don't have to go for it. So I would also remove that. And again, the bodyguard, in my opinion, is useless because you're gonna drop mostly the lower tier maps. So with these changes, we would improve the profit to 9x per hour. Another things I would change are some things on the passive tree. So first of all, it turns out that you actually can't find multiple smuggler caches in a map, which I don't know if it is a bug or it is intended, because I believe a few leagues ago we had a heist on a map device, and that would give 2 smuggler caches to a map, and also you would still be able to find a third one. But for some reason this league we actually can find only 1. So if you have 1 guaranteed with the Sextant, the second one can't appear. So I actually would remove this point. I would still take these small ones because a chance to get blueprints is pretty nice. Also, these small ones do not give anything also. But this one is pretty big, so I would still go for this cluster. And I actually would remove this cluster because bounty target pack is not that great. Most of the time you will just get 3000 markers from it, and you will not get any contracts or blueprints. Only from time to time you will drop a contract. So I don't think it's that great, and on top of that it's only 1 in 10 maps. So I would also remove that. If you want to, you can also change the influence. You can go for the green one still if you prefer that. I know a lot of people will still say that the increased chance to get altars is better than this one. So if you want to do that, obviously you can. I probably would also remove the enriched entities. It's not that great, but if you don't have anything to spend your points on, it's still perfectly fine. One thing that I would go for is twice tempted for 1 strong box combined with secret operations, and I actually have tested it and it is pretty decent. I would not focus on just finding strongbox in every single map, but if on your way to a boss you just find an operative strongbox, you just do it and you get some nice additional scarabs. Other things you can go for is 20% chance to get a rogue metamorph, and metamorph will have additional sample and 30% chance for double rewards. So it's kind of like the altar. 20% of the time you get a altar at the beginning. Here 20% of the time you will get just additional rewards from the metamorphs. And the reason why I didn't go for that is that my single target wasn't that great for killing metamorph, so I decided to not take it because of my build. One thing, although I think would be amazing with this strategy, is actually going for the harvest nodes, and from time to time just get free harvest with a lot of good passives, because I actually did find quite a lot of harvests, and harvest sextant is pretty expensive. So if you want to get a lot of just quick harvests, that's definitely a good strategy for this. But I didn't do it because I was just too lazy to prepare all of the items normally you use harvest crafts on. So these are all of the things that I would improve, but obviously if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment. I personally really like this strategy. It is very simple, you don't have to buy that much stuff to do this strategy. The only thing you need are the Sextants, but there's no Scarabs and no Delirium Orbs and so on, so it's very simple and actually very easy strategy because these maps are fairly easy. So that's gonna be it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.